Final section for this lecture, we have to discuss the sonnets. Shakespeare's poetry must be given a special space, since prominently with his sonnets, it was just as great and influential as his plays. In 1609, there was issued in London a small quarto volume entitled Shakespeare's Sonnet Never Before Imprinted. It was dedicated by the publisher, Thomas Thorne, you can see it here on the right, TT, to a mysterious figure. To the only begetter of these ensuing sonnets, Mr. W.H. You see, you have the dedication here. Even if it's Elizabethan spelling, I guess you can see. Mr. W.H. Mysterious. The volume contains 154 sonnets which fall naturally into two groups. The first group is addressed to a man, the fair youth. Those of the second group are addressed to a woman, the dark lady. Poet, fair youth, and dark lady, not to mention a rival poet equally anonymous, are all involved in a curious love triangle or quadrangle, I don't know. The writing of the sonnets certainly extended over several years, and they were probably circulated in manuscript among Shakespeare's private friends. At any rate, the greater number of the sonnets must have been completed in 1599 or something like this. Two of them were printed at the time. So who is indeed Mr. W.H.? Criticism has been busy to explain the meaning of the word begetter. I don't know if you know that verb, to beget, concevoir, créer, être à l'origine de, engendrer. This word being used in the dedication, the begetter of the sonnet is probably, therefore, the person who inspired them, and to whom the first 126 are addressed. According to some, the letters WH are in an inverted order, the initial HW, Henry Risley, the Earl of Southampton. Okay, he was one of Shakespeare's patrons. We've already mentioned him, I think. But there are plenty of other hypotheses. William Herbert, the Earl of Pembroke, etc., etc. Yet another mystery. Those sonnets of Shakespeare have an intellectual force, a poignancy of feeling, a wealth of imagery and rhythm, which make of them the finest production of their kind in English letters. Many of them express in beautiful language, sometimes with tinges of, you remember, euphuism, the feelings of Shakespeare in regard to the drama of human life. Beauty is but a passing gleam, genius a spark in the night. And the poet is, of course, in no better position. He has been endowed with exceptional gifts. He may create beautiful creatures of the mind, but nonetheless, after the lapse of some fleeting years, he too shall depart from this vile world with vilest worms to dwell. That's Sonnet 71. And it goes very far. His beloved ones, the fair youth and the dark lady, ought to bestow their beauty and make haste. And the only hope is to beget children in order to pass on their beauty. Metaphorically, that's a wonderful defense of human creative powers. So maybe we'll examine one of those sonnets. Remember, this is the Shakespearean format, so nothing like the French sonnet. It's 14 lines. This is why as one block. This is why sometimes sonnets are called 14ers. And it's 3 quatrains followed by 1 couplet. Right. With, yes, sometimes at the end of the 3rd quatrain there is the volta, the turn, where the mood of the poem changes. So you've got 2 examples here, but I prefer to have a look at, yes, the ones in the course patrol. Maybe we'll do the first one. Full many a glorious morning have I seen, flatter the mountain tops with sovereign eye, kissing with golden face the meadows green, gilding pale streams with heavenly alchemy. Anon permit the basest clouds to ride, with ugly Iraq on his celestial face, and from the forlorn world his visage hide, stealing unseen to west with this disgrace. Of course, he's talking about the sun. He says he's often seen the sun be glorious and kiss with golden face the meadows green. But also, anon, very soon, allow the clouds, the basest clouds, to somehow hide his face partly. And then the sun will steal unseen to the west. That's in the evening when the sun goes down. So here the metaphor is used. Even so my sun, one early morn did shine. You see, in the same fashion, some time ago, one early morn, my sun did shine, with all triumphant splendour on my brow, but alack, that's alas, he was but 1 hour mine. The region cloud hath masked him from me now. Yet him for this my love no whit disdaineth. Sons of the world may stain when heaven's sons staineth. Very last item, of course, as usual, film and TV references, totally subjective ones. Nonetheless, I think everybody agrees this documentary, In Search of Shakespeare, presented by Michael Wood, an excellent presenter, is definitely a must-see. It's a bit old, it's 2003, but it's really easy to find, so I would strongly, strongly recommend you watching this documentary. It will be much, much better than this introduction. It will give you access to Shakespeare's life and times. Countless TV and film adaptations, of course. These are my own preferences. I have mentioned in passing an excellent adaptation of Twelfth Night by Trevor Nunn, with, for instance, the sublime Eleanor Bonham Carter. I strongly recommend it. There are lots of good ones. In the excerpts I think I've sent a tiny bit of, the all-time classic, Laurence Olivier's Hamlet, 1948. Beautiful black and white, beautiful acting all around. All the others, oh well, take some time. Try to at least watch 1 or 2. The complete dramatic works of Shakespeare have been produced by the BBC, together with the RSC, the Royal Shakespeare Company. They are available. They are from the early 1980s, so the quality of the video is not too good, but many of them are still quite watchable, especially the history plays. Selection, basic must-reads. I have done an awful lot to recommend. Richard III. I should also recommend Twelfth Night for the comedies, and for the tragedies, oh well, Macbeth, obviously, and Hamlet, of course. So if you read only 4 plays by Shakespeare, I think at least you should read those. Definitely.